If you're making $100,000 or more and still wondering why your bank account feels empty every month, you are not the problem. Nearly half of Americans earning six figures in 2025 report having little or no savings. Households with $120,000 incomes are scraping by, drowning in payments, unable to explain where the money goes. Still think crossing that salary milestone means wealth? Let's break down, with sources and real numbers, why high earners are living paycheck to paycheck, and most importantly, what you can do to break free from a system designed to keep you working hard with little to show for it. Stay to the end for the exact three-step blueprint the experts don't teach. And as always, everything in this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice. Consult a financial professional before acting on anything you hear. Let's set the record straight. If you're making a six-figure income and still feel financially squeezed, you're experiencing the new normal. That $100,000 a year used to promise security. But in 2025, for millions of Americans, it's the bare minimum for treading water. Sometimes, not even that. Like many of you, I grew up believing if I just worked hard enough to hit that six-figure threshold, money stress would disappear. Reality says otherwise. Just last year, a survey from Lending Club found that 51% of those earning over $100,000 said they live paycheck to paycheck. But they aren't reckless. They aren't lazy. In fact, many are maxed out. No savings, no emergency fund, credit cards loaded up, car payments bigger than rent used to be, and bills that just keep climbing. If you press them on where their money goes, they can't answer. The math just vanishes. Comment below if you've ever tried balancing your budget only to wonder where thousands disappeared. Let's get honest about our real numbers. How is this possible? The answer isn't a single bad habit or one missed opportunity. It's a system. One so effective it traps even those who play by all the rules. The more you earn, the more the system extracts from you. The higher you climb, the faster your treadmill. It isn't about irresponsibility or lack of smarts. It's the modern American economy, and it's been engineered over decades to neutralize upward mobility. I'm going to reveal the four forces, the architects of the American financial trap, so you can finally make sense of how $100,000 doesn't mean security. And more importantly, I'll show you the step-by-step S-cap route. Stick with me, because there's a twist you'll want to hear by the end. Let's rewind to the true turning point, the 1970s. Back then, one income supported an entire family, a house, kids, healthcare, vacations, just one paycheck. But in 1971, something seismic happened. President Nixon took the US dollar off the gold standard. Overnight, money supply became limitless, and inflation had no leash. Prices soared, but wages didn't keep up. Housing, college, and healthcare started outpacing income by double or triple every decade. The cost of living detached itself from economic reality. The average U.S. home cost $25,000 in 1970. By 2025, it's over $420,000. Median income? Nowhere near that curve. So how did Americans cope? In the 1980s, credit cards exploded into daily life, not because families suddenly craved extra buying power, but because banks needed a way to bridge the gap between stagnating wages and skyrocketing living costs. Employers stopped raising pay. Banks handed out more credit instead. Mortgages for houses, auto loans for cars, student debt for college, credit cards for emergencies. It didn't feel like a trap. It felt like opportunity, but it let banks, not employers, become the true lenders of the American lifestyle. Pause for a second. How does this show up in your life? Have you ever noticed how every upgrade, your home, your car, your degree, comes with its own lifelong monthly payment? Type "Me too" if your cost of living outpaced your raises. Let's see how many of us feel it. Then the 2000s came along, and the squeeze got tighter. Globalization, outsourcing, and automation ate away middle-class jobs. Corporations earned record profits, but labor lost leverage. Back in the 1990s, $40,000 or $50,000 bought you that classic middle-class life. In major cities today, $120,000 barely keeps you afloat. Nowhere do you see that faster than in rent. One-bedroom apartments from $2,500 to $3,800 a month in places like New York, San Francisco, Seattle, and Austin. But there's another force that makes all of this feel normal, even desirable. Lifestyle inflation by algorithm. Starting in the 2010s, Instagram and TikTok didn't just connect people, they shifted dreams. Suddenly, normal life meant luxury vacations, high-end fitness, $500 wellness routines, subscription everything, and splurging on experiences designed to be flaunted. Social comparison went from the block to the entire country. And by 2025, we hit a breaking point. Six-figure incomes aren't stability anymore. They're barely the cover charge to participate in the modern American economy. But here's the secret. This is all by design. Financial struggle at $100,000 isn't about personal mistakes. It's the result of a system with 5 built-in drains. The moment your income grows, they kick in. First, earning $100,000 from a job, you could pay a higher effective rate than someone who makes $500,000 from investments. The code wasn't built to tax income, but to tax working people too busy to learn the game. Second, geographic inflation. If you're making 6 figures, odds are you're in a big city where even a tiny apartment can eat up $2,500 to $3,800 each month. That's 40 to 60% of your income gone instantly. Third, consumer finance traps. The average new car loan is $800 to $1,200 a month, double what it was just a decade ago. Credit cards now charge up to 28% interest. Buy now, pay later. Medical bills lurking on credit reports. Every aspect of overspending is monetized instead of discouraged. Every percentage point you pay in interest is a thief disguised as convenience. Fourth, subscription addiction. Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, Apple Music, gym memberships, meal kits, cloud storage, productivity apps. The average American pays for 12 to 18 recurring subscriptions now. Most can't even remember what half of them are. We don't buy products. We buy monthly payments. Fifth, psychological debt programming. From childhood, you're trained to see spending as reward, convenience as success, and ownership as identity. The cycle isn't only economic, it's psychological too. Want to break it? I promise you, the most important financial muscle is learning to pause before saying yes to every upgrade. Suddenly, you see the trap. The more you make, the more these drains pull away. Lifestyle inflation becomes the default. Financial literacy, not taught. Marketing, designed to exploit emotion and habit, not logic. So what happens? Americans making more than any generation before them feel poorer because, in a sense, they are. Data says it's not your fault. It's the system. Let me make this personal. Meet Ashley, a 35-year-old project manager in Seattle. She earns $122,000 a year. Great job, right? Here's her monthly budget. Rent for a one-bedroom, $2,800. Student loan, $410. Car payment 5-year, 3.7%, $690. Health insurance, $320. Cell/data/utilities, $320. 2 credit cards, minimum payments, $475. Groceries and takeout, $900. Subscriptions, $185. Netflix, Apple, gym, meal service. That's $5,800 out the door before she even gets to travel, see friends, or take care of emergencies. After taxes, Ashley brings home about $6,400 per month. That leaves $600 a month, or $20 per day. If a tire blows, her entire cushion vanishes, and she's making over $120,000. Let me know in the comments if these numbers look anything like yours. Let's crowdsource what budgets really look like in 2025. Here comes the real kicker. This isn't just Ashley's experience, it's millions. Same math, different zip code. Being broke at $100,000 isn't a personal failure. It's proof the system is functioning exactly as designed. Now, if you've stuck with me this far, here's why. Let's break down step by step how the machine keeps you stuck so you can start dismantling its power over your financial life. Think of the American financial system like a 3-part machine. 1. The income trap. You finally land a raise. Instantly, you upgrade. You move apartments, swap the car, order takeout, buy new gear. The problem? Everyone is watching. Landlords raise rent. Companies nudge prices up. Banks inflate credit lines. The system expands to swallow your new income before you ever benefit from it. This is why millions never feel their raise, and why it's so hard to get ahead. 2. The credit trap. Life gets more expensive. Small emergencies happen, and debt fills the gap. At first, you can manage minimum payments, but interest piles up, especially at 20 to 30% APR on cards and 5 to 7% on new cars, until most of your paycheck goes to paying off the past, not building the future. Debt becomes permanent, not temporary. 3. The consumption trap. Social media delivers a never-ending highlight reel of friends and strangers living an upgraded life. Even when you know it's curated, you feel the pull. You spend a bit more, again and again. What starts as small extras, $30 here, $90 there, adds up to thousands in permanent, invisible outflow. But here's the part that leaves most people hopeless. It wasn't one event that created this system. It was a chain stretching across decades. Let's bring it together, module by module, so you can see how we got here. 1. 1971. The break. Nixon ends the gold standard. Money supply is now unlimited. Inflation goes wild. 2. 1980s. Debt becomes America's main product. Mortgages, car loans, credit cards, student loans, all normalized. The era of lifetime debt begins. 3. 1990s to 2000s. Jobs get outsourced. Wages freeze. Job security fades. Americans fill the gap with more debt. 4. 2010s. Social media and tech companies engineer a new kind of desire and convenience addiction, blurring lines between wants and needs. 5. 2020s. Inflation explodes, from houses up over 60% since 2019, to groceries doubled, to insurance, Wages grow a sliver. Costs skyrocket. The net result. Even $100,000 or more doesn't guarantee financial health. Instead, you live in an ecosystem where income is always behind the cost curve. You see, BlackRock and Vanguard own the investment funds buying up entire neighborhoods, reshaping rent. Zillow and private equity convert homes into assets, not places to live. The Federal Reserve's interest rate policies widen the wealth gap with every cycle. Tech collects your data to optimize targeted spending, and AI models even predict what you'll buy before you think of it. You're not failing the system. The system is winning at keeping you on the treadmill. Here's the twist. The machine isn't broken. It was built to keep you consuming, not to make you wealthy. The only way out is to understand how it operates, and then break 3 key patterns. If you're ready for the blueprint, stay tuned, because these steps work for anyone at any income if you follow them consistently. Solution Blueprint: how to break out of the $100,000 broke trap. Shift number 1. Break the income illusion. Think wealth, not wages. Your salary is only the start. Wealth is what you keep. First, slash fixed expenses aggressively. Move, negotiate, downsize if you can. For example, Ashley moved to a 2-bedroom with 2 roommates. Rent fell from $2,800 to $1,200, and her savings rate jumped from 3% to 25%. That's the power of changing your biggest line item. Next, eliminate high-interest debt. Knock out any card over 8% APR first. Every point over 8% is draining your future. For every $10,000 at 18% APR, you pay $1,800 a year straight to banks. On $20,000, that's $3,600. Use the avalanche or snowball method to kill this fast. Track every extra dollar. Comment blueprint if you want my free spreadsheet to break it all down. Finally, CAP lifestyle inflation. Whenever your income jumps, bonus, tax refund, side money, lock in a percentage to savings or investments immediately before adding any upgrades. Even 10% makes a massive difference long term. Shift number 2. Build asset engines. True exit comes from ownership, not labor. Invest in assets, stocks, index funds, real estate if you're ready for long-term, not speculative holding, business equity, or digital assets that generate cash flow. Remember, this is educational only, not financial advice. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Consult a licensed financial advisor for your specific situation. Historically, S&P 500 index funds have returned about 10% annually. But with volatility, some years see negative 37%, 2008, others over 25%, 2019. If you invested $1,000 per month into S&P 500 index funds over the last 20 years, you'd have about $600,000, depending on fees and timing. Actual results can and do vary, especially in downturns. Automate contributions to retirement accounts. Prioritize employer matches on 401ks. Or contribute to an IRA up to limits you can afford. Even automating $100 per week means $5,200 saved per year, not counting market growth. Shift number 3. Unplug from consumption programming. Every ad and influencer is calibrated to maximize your spending. The trick isn't to deprive yourself, but to pause, assess, and act on your real values. Audit your subscriptions every quarter. Batch purchases. Wait 24 hours before impulse buys. And record every expense, even the small ones. Just knowing you'll log it makes you think twice. Start a simple 80-20 budget. 80% to essentials and savings, 20% to guilt-free enjoyment. That way, you upgrade life on your terms, not the algorithms. Because once you stop feeding the machine, you start feeding your financial independence. Let me recap with numbers. 1. Cut fixed expenses by $1,000 per month. Downsize housing. Kill unused subscriptions. That's $12,000 more every year to build wealth. 2. Destroy $15,000 in 18% credit card debt. Saves $2,700 annually in interest paid, which can go directly to investing. 3. Automate $500 per month to index funds at average 7% annual return. Historically could grow to about $125,000 in 10 years. Remember, returns aren't guaranteed, and markets go up and down. You don't have to make more. You have to keep, then grow what you already have. Being broke at $100,000 is a symptom of the system, not your fault. But breaking free, that's your move. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Next video, I'm showing you the exact 5 asset classes that consistently build wealth, regardless of income, with real historical data and no hype. Don't forget to comment blueprint below if you want my personal spreadsheet, and share your #1 expense regret in the last 5 years. We all learn from each other's stories. This video is educational, not financial advice. Results may vary, and nothing here guarantees returns. Always consult a licensed advisor for your unique situation. I'm Mark from Mark Invests. Thanks for spending your time here instead of feeding the machine. Let's quickly recap. The system is built to siphon off rising income through higher costs, tax bias, debt traps, and psychological programming. But you're not powerless. Cut fixed costs, kill high-interest debt, block lifestyle inflation, build and automate assets, even with modest amounts. Audit your spending triggers and unsubscribe from habits built for profit, not happiness. Here's what to do next. This week, review your budget with clear eyes. What's your rent or house-to-income ratio? What's your actual minimum payment total? List every subscription and cancel half. Over the next 30 to 90 days, use my spreadsheet or a similar tracker to set milestone debt payoffs or savings goals. Then, automate a small weekly transfer, even $20 to your investment account. Habit first, amount second. After 6 months, you'll see hundreds, even thousands in progress. In 12 months, the confidence you get from controlled cash flow is worth more than any raise. You'll start noticing relief by next month. Even a $200 per month expense cut is life-changing in practice. Major wealth growth takes years, but financial breathing room? That starts the moment you stop feeding the traps. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Next video, I'm revealing the 5 assets that reliably grow wealth across economic cycles, complete with risk breakdowns and actual historical performance. Drop a comment with your top money question for the year. I'll pick the best for next episode. And if you want my personal budgeting spreadsheet, remember to comment blueprint below. This was for educational purposes only, not investment advice. Results may vary. Past performance doesn't guarantee future returns. And consult a licensed financial advisor before making decisions. I'm Mark, and this is Mark Invests. See you in the next one.